Halbrook here with another Main Street Sports Extra segment here. We're here with Coach Sam Rauls of the Desoto Dragons ladies basketball team. How you doing, Coach?
Doing good, sir. How are you?
Really good, really good. Coach, give me something that's one of your favorite parts about being in the DeSoto community.
I think the one of the best parts about the DeSoto community is the fact that everybody is very supportive of everything you do. The teachers, the kids, the band, the community. Obviously COVID is changing everything, but the number of people that would normally show up to a game, whether it's girls basketball or volleyball or football or boys basketball, the outreach of support that you get from the local organizations, the local businesses, for everything that we do at the school is top notch.
Coach, give us a little bit of background on yourself, how many years you've been over with the DeSoto program, and what got you there.
I started teaching 16 years ago here. My first coaching job was the freshman girls, being the assistant for Coach Ron Rhodes. After that, I went over to the boys with Alan Davis, and then I came back to the girls. This will be my 6th year as the varsity girls head basketball coach.
Wow, you've got some great mentors to pull from there, and any other type of mentors that you have along the way that has inspired you, or you've kind of lived by their teachings.
I think the person that always inspired me the most, and I know this is going to get tough, would have to be my dad.
Sure.
He always coached me growing up. He always instilled everything in me. So yes, I take a lot of what I learned from Coach Rhodes and Coach Davis, and, I try to put that onto the basketball floor, and I try to do that. But, the hard work, the determination, everything that I try to do came from my dad.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Love it. Love to hear that. We talk about a little bit of, the past season here, 8-18 overall. You lost to Potosi in the Class 4 District 2 tournament. 2 and 4 correct on the season right now. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you lost a few seniors last season. Talk about, maybe the multi-sport athletes that you guys have from time to time. You feel like that benefits your program and also the other athletic programs out at DeSoto?
Yeah, if I didn't have multi-sport athletes, I'd probably have 2 people in the basketball program right now. This year exactly, my starting 5, I have 3 volleyball players and a softball player. We encourage our kids, especially on the girls' side, to participate as much as we can. Them getting out and being involved in another sport only helps them for what we call their dominant sport. They can learn things, get more athletic, and I think a lot of it just has to do with being a team player. Sometimes in their dominant sport, they're the leader, they're the number one person, and when they step on the basketball floor, they step in their secondary sport, they're not top notch. They're not the top of the line, but they know that they learn to be that role player. They learn to be the different side of a leader. And I think it helps out the kids. It helps out them out, for sports, for life. But I also think it helps out every program that we have at DeSoto.
Give me just a second. Sorry about that. I had a cough that I was holding in for you to finish it because I knew I was going to end up coughing all over the place. So here we go again. Oh, wonderful. Is there times in the season that you reevaluate your squad, whether it be the style of play, your starting personnel, offensive philosophy, defensive philosophy? Do you do that from time to time, or is that normally a stand pat issue with you over at DeSoto?
I'm reevaluating every game, every day, every situation. I don't. What I have on the floor, I will adjust to who's playing basketball, who's having a hot night, who's cold, with the COVID situation, who's out, who's not here. I don't want to put the girls in a situation where they're going to fail. My number one objective is to put them in a spot where they can succeed. We might not always succeed. They might not always make the basket or make the play, but I feel if I can put them in a spot, whether that's changing the offense or changing the defense or changing who's on the floor at that particular time, then I think it helps the girls out and it helps our program out.
You mentioned the obvious, the issues we're dealing with COVID to keep our teams on the court, and talk a little bit about the summer, how much that changed your outlook and the preparations going into even the preseason. How much did that just like throw you for a loop, or were you able to adjust quickly?
We adjusted as best we could. At Desoto, we were only allowed to have our Desoto camp. There was no going anywhere and being a Desoto team, so I couldn't take the girls anywhere and coach them. We adjusted. We had our Desoto camp, but, part of having a bunch of the multi-sport athletes and dealing with, having a fall sport, I wanted to give way to that, so the girls put in the time that I asked. We got better, but it hurt not having the Hillsborough League or the Farmington League or being able to go somewhere and actually get some true playing time against other people besides your own DeSoto teammates.
Did conditioning play a part as well? As far as prepping during preseason, have you seen conditioning being an issue?
Yeah, we're out of shape. I think even out of the 6 games we've played, I think I've seen a lot of teams, the girls running up and down, trying to catch a breath. I've seen coaches subbing probably more than what they are accustomed to subbing. There's some players coming out, but, I think that's all over the board. And I think as we go throughout the season, it's my job and it's the girls' job to get us back into shape, and be ready for the end of the year. No matter, I try to preach it every year. We could go 0-20 throughout the regular season and everybody goes to districts and everybody has the same shot to win. So, we're going to use the season to get in shape, get better, and make sure we're fine-tuned come district time.
Do you have team goals that you set every season, and what could they possibly be to use to measure for your team's success?
Our team goals are always basically the same. We want to win conference. We want to put ourselves in position to win conference, and we want to put ourselves in position to win a district title. Whether that happens, that doesn't mean that it's not a successful season. I don't think we have to have a winning record to have a successful season. For this year alone, if we can get in every game on the schedule, that's a successful season for me right now with everything going around. But, for us, a successful season is girls just playing, girls coming out, playing hard. Us being able to form a freshman JV and a varsity squad, keeping the program built, keeping kids interested, and keeping kids out having fun.
What do you feel like are some of your early season strengths right now, and maybe even, do I dare say, weaknesses?
Our strength right now is our defense. With the multi-sport athletes, with the athletic ability that we have, there's we can change defenses. We can do a lot of things. We can get a lot of rebounds. So we focus on our pride of being the defense, trying to stop the other team. Our weakness is scoring. The other night we were 8 for 46 from the field. We were 17 for 33 from the free throw line. So it's not that we're not getting opportunities to score. We're just not putting them in the bucket. So right out of the gate, that's our weakness. We're trying to fine tune it every practice and work on our shooting, work on our attacking the basket, making the free throws, and if we can keep the defense like we have, then, the offense will come around.
Name maybe 1 or 2 up-and-coming athletes you may be poised to have a breakout season for your team, maybe even a freshman that's incoming for the varsity squad.
This year on the varsity squad, Cameron Paley, who's a senior, has been stepped up. She was averaging almost 18 points a game, almost 15, 16 rebounds a game. She's drawn a little bit of college interest. For her to step up, I think she focused her entire time on volleyball. I don't think she ever thought that basketball was a true legitimate option for her, and I think she's finally realizing it's the case. If we go down to the sophomore range, Jamie Smith has kind of taken over. She dresses for me on the varsity level sometimes. She started a couple games at the beginning due to some quarantine issues, but she's taken over the JV level. The other night she had 26 points against R7, I think. So she's putting in the time, she's putting in the effort. She's someone that over the next several years is hopefully going to be a force to reckon with on the varsity team.
Awesome, awesome. Do you have maybe right now a leader or leaders kind of set aside right now that you feel like, yeah, there's no doubt about this person's it goes through this particular person or persons?
I think right now all 6 of our seniors are leaders, but I mean, I think everybody's defined as different. If we're looking for stat leaders, then obviously you're looking at, Abby Pope and Cameron Paley and Trista Grobe and Shelby and all those. But, if you're looking for someone who's not going to put up the stats, who's going to keep the composure, be the soft-spoken leader, lead by example, it's going to be Taylor Jones. I mean, she does everything you ask for on the floor. She, works her butt off, dives for everything. She just, she's not going to put up the stats that everybody looks for in the paper, everybody looks for on the stat sheet. Her stats are the hustle stats, the composure stats, keeping everybody in check and, and running a tight ship.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Couple of personal questions for you here. What gets you pumped during a game? Is it something that happens on the floor, something that you're seeing in your kids, maybe offensively, defensively? What gets you pumped during a game?
What gets me pumped is the kids working hard. I mean, we could be winning, we could be losing. We get a nice offensive rebound with a putback, or we get a steal, or we run the offensive play like we're had to, or there's a loose ball on the floor and I see 3 Desoto jerseys going after it. That's what gets me excited. It gets me excited to see the girls excited. I'm very vocal on the floor. I'm hooping and hollering, I'm screaming, I'm doing everything I can to motivate them. But when they're giving me their 100% effort and they're fighting tooth and nail with everything they got, it pumps me up more than anything.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Last question for you here. We're going to let you go here. This is the Ray question here. We're going to make it COVID edition, kind of a COVID style here. Obviously during COVID, we've had a lot of time off. Was there something that you picked up, maybe some sort of hobby or interest during COVID?
I really haven't picked up a hobby or interest. I've just, spending all my quality time with my son. I've tried to take over. My dad coached me. I coach my son and everything he does. Right now we're playing basketball at the Y. We just got finished playing soccer at the Y. So, we've put a lot of family time in, just doing stuff around the house and spending that quality family time, because you never know when it's going to stop.
That's right. That's right. Nothing wrong with being a family man, right, Coach?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks so much for being with us, and we appreciate you being on here, and we will be definitely catching up with you down the road during the season here. Thanks so much.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity.